Okay, so I'm going to show you how to put up the tarp. So firstly, what I've done is chose a suitable area where I've looked around to see if there's any dead branches in the trees that might fall on me in the night. I've also looked around to see if there's any signs of wildlife, etc., that I don't want to be sleeping on or near. But I'm quite happy with my choice of trees. This tree here is fairly sturdy, and that tree over there, and they should be a good space apart. So I'm going to make a bowline. So I'm going to form a loop in my knot, making sure that the working end is on top. So it looks like a 6. Then I'm going to go up through the hole, around the tree, and back down the hole again. Then pulling it in nice and tight. And I've formed a loop there, which I can use to help set up my shelter. So I've formed a bowline, and that's going to aid me in setting up my shelter. So I can take that and wrap that around the tree. Then I can take a loop and thread that through the bowline. This leaves a big loop here that I can put a stick in, and then I can crank that up, and that's a nice quick way of securing the line to the tree. So I'm going to take the other end of the line and wrap it around the tree. Then to get tension, I'm going to take this end and pass it over the line. Then I can come back and crank on that until I can get that nice and tight. Then I'm going to wrap that round again, and then I can get to here and I can just tie that off with a few simple half hitches. So there's one half hitch, poke it through again, second half hitch. Aid in setting up the shelter nice and quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie some prusik knots onto this ridgeline now. So this works better if the prusik knot is made of a thinner cordage. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tie a simple overhand knot in the two ends. And that again has left me with a fixed loop. So I'm going to put this on my ridgeline. Then I'm going to take the knot end and I'm going to pass it over the ridgeline and through the loop once, and then I'm going to do exactly the same thing again twice, and then I'm going to cinch up the knot nice and tight. When it's finished, it should look like a little fist grabbing hold of the cord. Okay, so I'm going to put it behind and then take the knot end, pass that through the loop once, and then again twice, and then making sure I pull it in nice and tight, cinch it up nicely, and there's our prusik knot. Now I've got two prusik knots onto my ridgeline. They can move quite easily when you push them with your fingers, but if you pull them against the direction of force, you can get it quite a lot of force on there without it slipping. So I'm going to use these to attach my tarp to it, which means I can adjust the tarp for tensioning. So I've got my tarp here screwed up inside the stuff sack. What I'm going to do with this is find the center. So that's one corner, that's the center, that's another corner. I'm going to thread this over my ridgeline. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the toggles that are at the end, that are in the center of my shelter. So I'm going to post my prusik knot through there. Then I'm going to put my stick through here, and that is going to enable me to pull that nice and tight. This can lock it into place. That's going to stop it coming undone. So I've got my prusik knot. The prusik knot is going through the loop on my tarp. You could add another loop there as well, out of a piece of paracord to make it slightly easier to thread through. But that's going through there, through the loop, and then I've just stuck a stick in through that, and the stick's stopping it pulling out, and then you can adjust it. So now I'm just going to tie my corner guide ropes onto the corners. Post it through. You only really need to do this once they're on there. You can leave them set up, and then again a nice simple bowline or whatever knot you like really. I like a bowline because it's nice and secure and quick to tie. And then I'll just do that on all 4 corners, and then I've got my guy ropes attached. Okay, so I've managed to find 3 good trees to put the other corners on, but this one isn't quite where I'd like it. If I tied it off here, then the carp's going to have these creases in it, and that's going to gather water and things. Ideally, you want it to be pulled nice and tight. It's not just so that it looks nice, that actually helps the water run off better. So what I'm going to do is just use it as a bit of a tent peg. So I'm going to find roughly where I want that to go, and then I can drive that into the ground. So I want to tie the taut line hitch here so that I can adjust the tension on this tarp. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my guy line and I'm going to wrap it around my tent peg. Then I'm going to take the other end and I'm going to fold it over. So I form this cross, and I like to think of it as an upside down 4. Then I'm going to take this end and I'm going to work it twice round towards the tent peg. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to loop it round once towards the tarp. And what we've formed there is basically like a prusik, but tied on itself. So with that I can adjust it up, and then it'll lock into place and keep that nice and tight. So that's how you can set up your tarp. Now I've done that, I'll leave all that in place and it can be nice and quick and easy next time.